Welcome to our U.S. briefing show. Today, we kick off with some surprising diplomatic news from Belarus, where 52 prisoners, including political figures, were released thanks to a request from none other than U.S. President Donald Trump. This move, praised by Belarus's leader Alexander Lukashenko, is seen as a gesture of goodwill amid ongoing efforts to ease tensions and improve relations. But keep in mind, over 1,000 political prisoners still remain behind bars. Next up, Harvard University is making headlines as federal research grants, previously frozen by the Trump administration, are beginning to show signs of revival. While no money has yet been transferred, a federal judge's ruling declared the cuts unconstitutional, opening the door for potentially billions of dollars to flow back into Harvard's research programs. Negotiations are still ongoing, but this is a big step toward restoring federal support. And finally, we honor the memory of 9/11, marking its 24th anniversary with ceremonies across the U.S. to remember nearly 3,000 lives lost. From memorial services at Ground Zero to moments of silence nationwide, Americans continue to reflect on that tragic day and the resilience that followed. It's a time for remembrance, charity, and unity as the nation looks back and moves forward. Please continue to stay tuned for more detailed coverage. CNN reports a remarkable diplomatic breakthrough as Belarus, under the leadership of Alexander Lukashenko, has pardoned 52 prisoners and facilitated their safe crossing into Lithuania, a move that has garnered praise from Lithuanian President Gitanas Nausėda and gratitude from the United States. The release, described as a humanitarian gesture influenced by the requests of President Donald Trump, included 6 Lithuanians and other foreign nationals, highlighting the complex interplay of international diplomacy and political negotiations. Lukashenko publicly acknowledged Trump's efforts, expressing appreciation for the U.S. role in fostering peace in the region. The prisoners' release was part of broader discussions involving the potential reopening of the U.S. Embassy in Minsk and the easing of sanctions, signaling a moment of cautious optimism amidst ongoing political tensions. Human rights groups also noted the release of high-profile political prisoners, such as Mykola Statkovich and Sergei Tikhanovsky, symbolizing a rare gesture of goodwill amid Belarus's often repressive political landscape, with the gesture serving as a testament to the influence of international diplomacy and the strategic interests of global powers involved. The Associated Press details a tentative step forward in U.S. Harvard relations as federal funding, previously cut by the Trump administration, begins to show signs of reinstatement following a court ruling declaring the cuts illegal. Harvard University, embroiled in a contentious legal battle over $2.6 billion in federal grants, received notices from multiple agencies indicating that the funds might be restored, although no payments have yet been received. The legal victory marked a significant blow to the Trump administration's efforts to reshape higher education policies, which included investigations and sanctions targeting Harvard for alleged campus antisemitism and other issues. Despite ongoing negotiations, a comprehensive settlement remains elusive, with President Trump demanding a hefty $500 million payment from Harvard as part of any resolution. The case exemplifies the broader political and legal struggles over federal research funding and the administration's attempts to influence university policies, reflecting the contentious climate surrounding higher education and government oversight. South China Morning Post reports that Americans are solemnly commemorating the 24th anniversary of the September 11 attacks, with heartfelt ceremonies, volunteer efforts, and personal tributes honoring nearly 3,000 victims. Families like Denise Matuza, Jennifer Nilsson, and Michelle Pizzo, each wearing shirts bearing their loved ones' faces, join memorials in New York, Pennsylvania, and at the Pentagon, reflecting on grief that remains fresh even after decades. Some choose intimate gatherings, like James Lynch's family attending a local ceremony and spending time at the beach, embracing the idea that grief never truly dissipates but can be transformed into resilience and growth. The day's remembrances are tinged with heightened security concerns following the recent killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, which has prompted increased measures at the World Trade Center site. At Ground Zero, the names of the victims are read aloud, moments of silence mark the exact times of the attacks, and dignitaries, including Vice President J.D. Vance, pay respects, though he plans to visit Kirk's family instead of attending the event. The Pentagon and Shanksville memorials also honor those lost, with President Trump and others participating in ceremonies and a baseball game, respectively. Across the nation, the day is also observed through service projects, volunteer work, and charity initiatives, emphasizing unity and resilience. The attacks, carried out by Al-Qaeda, resulted in nearly 3,000 deaths and had far-reaching consequences, including global conflicts and significant policy shifts. The memorial in New York, with its waterfall pools inscribed with the victims' names, remains a poignant sight, while ongoing efforts continue to address the health impacts of the tragedy, with billions spent on healthcare and monitoring for those affected by the toxic dust. The anniversary serves as a powerful reminder to remember, reflect, and rebuild amidst the enduring echoes of that tragic day. The Florida-based media outlets, USA Today Network, Florida and Tallahassee Democrat, vividly detailed the tragic shooting of conservative activist Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University, where he was giving a speech in front of thousands of students. The incident, which occurred during a public event, led to chaos as social media videos captured students and onlookers scrambling in panic, prompting campus evacuation and police investigations. Kirk, a prominent figure in conservative circles and founder of Turning Point USA, had recently participated in Florida events, including a student action summit in Tampa and debates at the University of South Florida, University of Florida, and Florida State University earlier in 2025. The authorities are still searching for the suspect, with no arrests made yet, and the incident has sent shockwaves through the political community, especially among young conservatives who admired Kirk's activism. Yahoo US reports that in response to Kirk's death, President Donald Trump ordered flags across Georgia and the nation to be flown at half-staff, a mark of national mourning typically reserved for significant tragedies or prominent figures. Kirk's assassination has deeply impacted Georgia's conservative base, with many expressing grief and outrage over the violence, which is seen as a stark reminder of the dangers faced by political activists. The flags at half-staff symbolize a collective mourning and recognition of Kirk's influence on youth engagement and conservative politics. The article highlights how the U.S. flag code permits such honors, especially in cases involving national tragedies, and underscores the emotional toll of Kirk's death on the community, leading to vigils and prayer gatherings aimed at healing. Meanwhile, the Center Square details the federal hate crime charge sought against DeCarlos Brown Jr., accused of murdering Irina Zarutska on a Charlotte light rail train. The North Carolina chapter of the Council on American-Islamic Relations has called for a hate crime investigation, citing video footage where the suspect allegedly made racially charged comments about Zarutska, a young woman of Ukrainian descent. Brown, with an extensive criminal record, faces both state and federal charges, including first-degree murder. The case has sparked national debate over racial motives and justice, with advocates condemning the violence and emphasizing the importance of addressing hate crimes. The story underscores the broader societal issues of racial bias and violence, with community leaders and lawmakers demanding thorough investigations and justice for the victim. Deutsche Welle reports on the devastating impact of recent U.S. tariffs on Kashmir's traditional artisans, whose livelihoods are deeply intertwined with export markets in the U.S. and Europe. In the picturesque town of Hawal, Akhtar Mir and his team craft intricate papier-mâché ornaments, a family tradition for generations, now threatened by the tariffs that have sharply increased prices and reduced demand. Kashmiri artisans, who once thrived on U.S. demand for textiles, carpets, and handicrafts, face the grim reality of declining orders, with many fearing unemployment and the irreversible loss of their skilled craftsmanship. The U.S. tariffs, which have soared up to 50%, are pushing buyers towards countries like Italy, where tariffs are capped at 15%, leaving Kashmir's artisans vulnerable to economic collapse. The ripple effects threaten the region's 400,000 registered artisans, risking not only their current income but also the future of their traditional skills, as luxury goods like shawls and rugs become prohibitively expensive, and many orders are cancelled amid market uncertainty. South China Morning Post details the personal story of Lu Jun, a renowned mathematician who chose to leave Harvard and return to China, driven by family reasons and a lifelong connection to Tsinghua University. Lu dismisses speculation that his move was influenced by U.S. political tensions or funding cuts, emphasizing his desire to care for his aging mother and to contribute to his hometown's academic development. His decision coincides with the Trump administration's freeze on research funding for U.S. universities, including Harvard, which affected many scholars and graduate students. Lu's history is intertwined with China's political history, having participated in student protests during the 1989 Tiananmen Square demonstrations, yet he clarifies that these events did not influence his career trajectory. His departure highlights the shifting landscape of Chinese scholars in the U.S., as the number of students studying abroad declines and some consider returning home amid changing geopolitical and academic climates, marking a significant transition in the global flow of talent and education. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6 Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6 team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6 Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6 Brief via email.
Lights dim, voices loud, headlines flashing wild. World in a frame and now, stories told, it's time to vow. Eyes glued, truth pursued, understanding woven through. Heartbeats race breaking through, knowledge spreads the new view. Breaking the news, breaking the day, truth and insight our way. Every story, every play, live and clear we convey. Shadows lift, facts unfold, moments chasing, stories told. Heroes, villains, tales of old. In this hour, truth is gold. Depths revealed, voices bright, news in focus, black and white. Every angle sheds some light, morning, evening, through the night. Breaking the news, breaking the day, truth and insight our way. Every story, every play, live and clear we convey. Truth and insight our way. Truth and insight our way. Breaking the news, breaking the day, truth and insight our way. Every story, every play, living clear we convey. Every story, every play, and clear we convey. Depths revealed, voices bright, news in focus, black and white. Every angle sheds some light, morning, evening, through the night.